Hey everybody, Dr. Dusa here, MTFU Longevity Podcast with my good friend of years, Gino Caccavale. Thank you for being here today. We're in our 30s now as far as podcasts. This is episode 33. So it's going pretty good. You know, I've known Gino since we were in high school. We went to the same high school. I'm a little older. I'm a little more August in years, if you want to put it that way. And, you know, Gino beat me in all kinds of contests, beat everybody. You know, I was just like a tattoo on his pec standing next to him back in the day, but I tried really hard. We even went out with the same girl at one time at different times. So there's connections, and we're still friends. You know, he's the type of guy, I don't see him a lot, but when I do see him, we still welcome each other, and we're still friends and friendly and all that good stuff. And he's a good guy to have out there because he does a lot of good work. He's been in the fitness world for decades now, and he's got a long history. He's won a lot of bodybuilding contests, specifically the Mr. Connecticut in 1989. He was even a competitor. He won the regional American Gladiators in 1993. And I remember that was heavily contested with New Haven Coliseum. Yeah, and you came out ahead. There was a lot of people gunning for that. And he was also an employee of the Connecticut Department of Corrections. And Gino took a chance years ago because his heart was in bodybuilding and personal training, and he's among the elite in that industry. And he left after, I believe it was about 11 years at the department. Am I correct with that? 11 years?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. People were like, you're nuts. You're leaving security, benefits, all this and that. But listen, if you go to a job every single day and life is fleeting as we know it, and you feel like there's an invisible umbilical cord being attached to your thorax and your soul is being devoured. And I'm not saying Gino had that, because I don't think he will. Maybe close. Then you know, if you don't get yourself out of that somehow, when you're old and laying there, you will be shackled by regret, and there's nothing worse. So he did. He left and he went to New York City. He's done a lot of other things, and he built a tremendous clientele, diverse clientele of many people. He's actually up in Boston now. He'll tell us about that. And also he's developed an exercise system which is unique in the industry and has many denizens following it now in multi-states. He has people working for and with him. It's called Rezist. He's going to tell us about that. So he's, you know, there are producers and consumers in society. And this guy is a producer. He's a builder. He is not out there ripping down statues, but we won't go there. He's only building. Maybe we'll erect one of you someday. Gino, thanks for being here, my friend. I know you're busy.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Mike. My pleasure.
Pleasure and honor. Tell us, you're from Connecticut, just like me, Greater New Haven. We went to that Catholic high school, Notre Dame. So how'd you start lifting weights? How did you get into fitness anyhow?
I got into fitness. You know our friend Robbie Ruggiero. I was
of course
a very good bodybuilder, and I was a lush. I was like 19, 20, and I was overweight. Love handles. I was drinking all the time, and you know, he was at a gym of ours, and he won Mr. Connecticut in 1988, and I was lifting a little bit then, and we all went out to a party afterwards to congratulate him, and I said, hey, congratulations on winning Mr. Connecticut in 1988, and he literally told me, you could do the same thing if you didn't get off your ass.
And how old were you? You were what, 16?
I was 20.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, all right.
And that kind of like, I hate when someone says that to me, that I can't do something. And long story short, stopped doing everything, cold turkey, moved out of my dungeon apartment, stopped drinking, kept lifting, started eating healthy, and I was Mr. Connecticut a year later.
Do you think the words carried more heft coming from someone like him, whereas if it was just some, you know, slob telling you that, it may not have had any heft to it? Yeah,
without a doubt. If the right people believe in you, it's a hell of a motivator. Yeah.
It really is.
It really is, yeah. And if someone, yeah.
They say in business, you're only as good as the people you're surrounded by. You've got to, you know, I know you have some very high level clients.
Yeah.
Maybe being around people who are really, and we'll talk about that, successful, it kind of pushes you a little. So, but you were also a good athlete, but you chose bodybuilding. I know you trained with Mike Katz for a bit, or Mike Katz kind of, you know, shepherded you into the bodybuilding a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of say that I turned to bodybuilding. I always say the joke that I couldn't sing, I couldn't dance, and I was a decent athlete, but I wasn't a great athlete.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, well, so what could I be the best at? And the only thing, like, bodybuilding is one of the few things that you just have this palette and you go into the gym and you could just make what you want of yourself. You know, a lot of sports and like football, baseball, soccer, anything like that, it's kind of very, very like skill driven.
Right.
And bodybuilding and physique is more like dedication and inspiration driven.
Gino, question, bodybuilding, as a bodybuilder, are you an athlete or an artist?
I would say both.
Both.
I would say both. I say you're definitely an athlete, but it's also, like I said, like your body is kind of like the palette. So we have that ability to change things that we want. Like a lot of people can't change things about their sport or their vocation or their body. So I think both, Mike. Yeah.
You know, I've got to just take a departure here for a second. Your glasses, I've got glasses somewhere, but you're looking very erudite with the glasses. And, you know, I was in the gym. I needed something to read because I don't bring my phone in there anymore. And I said, give me something to read on the step mill. And so they gave me this. I was like, all of a sudden, my friend of yours is on these big time. You know, there was a time I was at a seminar in Arizona. It had to be in the early 2000s. And I'm looking through the magazines, and there you are. I think it was Men's Fitness or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool how you're projected across the country like that, and you become ubiquitous. Pamela Renea said hi, Gino.
Hey. Pammy from Ohio.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we'll talk about your business. It's all over the country now, which is really, really good. So
actually one of our instructors, our resistance.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, fantastic. He was speaking well of you, Pamela. So good job. So Gino, did you think winning the state title, did you think you had a future in big time bodybuilding, or you kind of knew you wanted to do something different? I
kind of take things in blocks. So like once I started training hard and I got my body where I wanted to, that was the goal. It wasn't like I never wanted to be like a bodybuilder. I never said, oh, someday I'm going to be in the Olympia or something like that. I just said, I'm going to win 1989 Mr. Connecticut. And then I'll think about what comes after that. So after I won, then things started to open up for you, you know, like when you win a show, you know, possibilities, that kind of thing. And then I kind of just took it step by step for there. And I just pick little goals in life to achieve, conquer, and then I move on. You are always rock hard and ripped. And when you started, was there ever a time when you were out of shape, or did you start off as kind of a fat kid or a skinny kid, or was it anything like that? Or you were just kind of like in the middle? I was a fat kid, Mike. Thanks for making me admit it, though. That's cool. Well, no, you know, it's funny. I've had these top guys on here, and a lot of them are telling me, like I had Evan Centopani the other day, and he was like 275 when he was 12 or something, and he had to lose 100. And, you know, it's kind of shocking because a lot of these guys don't necessarily come out of athletic backgrounds. A lot of it is, you know, they were either beleaguered by bullies, or they didn't eat well, or they were sick. So that's kind of interesting. But you always stay in that shape, pretty close to it. Just because I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm going to lose it, so I stay in the shape. Well, let me ask you, speaking of that, you're aging, you know, our mantra is to age without getting old, but do you notice that you get better as you go along, but in a different way, perhaps, if I'm saying that right? Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, when I first started, when I got into bodybuilding, I had like a 43-inch waist, and then I ended up having a 32-inch waist. And so once I accomplished that, I never want to go back to the way I looked again. So you started creating different ways to stay there. And like bodybuilding isn't the only way to stay there. Of course, it's nutrition and everything like that. And as I get older, I'm 55 now. You take your health in stages, and you have to be very smart about it. Mm-hmm. Like I said to you before when we were talking, I said, we're not going to lift the way we did when we were 19, 25, even in our 30s and 40s. So if you could adapt and know your limitations and stay strong, there's always something else to do if something hurts. There's always a different way to do something if you can't do something a certain way. So it's just about how to like morph with your body and just keep moving. You could always do something. All right, so moving along, you built up, you moved to New York. So tell us about the Department of Corrections, and I know you started a couple of programs for them and the police academy as well. Yeah. So when I started in the Department of Corrections, and I never wanted to be like a law enforcement person. That wasn't my goal. It was just I really just needed a job. Okay. The prison kind of intrigued me a little bit, so I got the job in corrections and 1993, and it's not like, I'm not going to say it's not as dangerous as people think, but people like, you see things on TV. It's, it's so bad. It's so dangerous. It's so awful. It's bad at times, but what it is more, it's like unfulfilling and dirty. So that's the job. Like I didn't think it was that dangerous. I have a sarcastic personality, so I got along with people in prison. I was respected. But just to walk into a prison every day and work it for like 10, 12 hours and let the door shut behind you and leave and just do that every single day. And I just felt like, I have this, like, I want to help people. I want to help people get in shape. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I basically felt like, pardon the expression, locked down, but I just really felt like locked down. Like I couldn't explore any creativity, whether it be in my fitness, my writing, my poetry, anything like that.
Gino, words pack punch. And I listen deeply. I've been accused of thinking too deeply on things. But you said dirty and what were the two words? It was dirty and
unfulfilling.
Yeah, there's not even a splinter of light coming through there. Was but you stayed for 11 years, but were you all the while trying to formulate what was next, or you obviously didn't resign yourself to that?
Yeah, no, I was always thinking about what was next. I knew of course, when I first started off in the corrections, I was the PT instructor for the Police Academy of Corrections. So I was able to fulfill that dream of, helping people and like working people out and contributing somehow to their health. But like after a while, it was in there 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I had people come up to me and tell me that this wasn't for me.
Oh, no kidding.
Saw me in the fitness world, and like I write a lot and read some of my stuff, and I had people in the prison come up to me and say like, "Why are you here?" And they
noticed that.
Yeah.
That was good that you had people like that around you. That they could at least see that, the incongruency perhaps.
No.
So how did you end up in New York? That came next, right? New York City.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity. I did some acting and some modeling in the city, and I wanted to start my own personal training business, and I would give this advice to anybody. I had a really secure job. I got paid well. I got a car when I went into my bounty hunting, because I actually did that as part of the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they actually gave me a car and a gun and the files, and I get to go out and catch people. And it was kind of like the dream job.
Wow.
And I still had to leave because it wasn't me. Like running around and catching bad guys was okay, but it just wasn't me.
Could you say it manifested like this at those two times in your life, with that job and the other one? You would wake up and be, I've had this, and you wake up and you have this little slight tiny amount of sadness or sting that's bugging you, that it's not right. Yeah.
I always knew that.
And you knew you had to get rid of it, despite maybe your mom saying, "What are you, crazy?" I don't know if your mom said that, but
Oh my God, my whole family. I'm an idiot for leaving. My father would be like, "I can't believe you're quitting. You got the best benefits," everything like that. Nobody said go, except for really the people that I worked with.
Well, yeah, they were there. So you went to New York City, and that's, you always hear it's very expensive. You got to find a place to live. It's very hard to be successful. It's hard to be successful anywhere.
Yeah.
But especially there. So how did that come about? You just went there?
I just went there. Yep. I just went there. I moved. I went to New York City for a week to like hunt down and look for apartments. And it's weird how fate works. I don't know if anyone listening believes in fate, but I went into the Pan Am building and I wanted to apply for an apartment there. And for some reason I went through the wrong door, and it was a New York Health and Racket.
Oh.
And the guy said, "Hey, are you here for a workout?" Or I said, "No, I'm here to rent an apartment." She goes, "Oh, that office is upstairs." And I said, "Well, wait a minute." He goes, "Are you into fitness, or are you a trainer?" I said, "Yeah, well, I'm actually a trainer and I'm looking for a job." And I actually had my resume in my bag.
Oh my God.
It was really that fast. And he said, like, "We need someone like you when we start."
And that's where you started.
So I got my apartment and my job almost on the same day. Yeah.
Jeez. That is rather, that's I think that's serendipity, fate, same thing. Oh yeah. It happens. That's a matter of positioning and working your whole life. And then when the opportunity comes, you're not waiting. The luck thing, I don't know if I believe in that, especially if you're not prepared. That's a whole different game. So you've had very high level, and listen, all humans are the same and all that, but people who are you know, maybe more elite in their financial status and their work status, and you work with a lot of people. But then you had this idea for this exercise system. You were talking to a guy who, you know, seemed to have experience, and he was not very encouraging, was he? What did he tell you?
No, he was actually, most of my clients were, I say, like financial celebrities. And one of my best clients that I always confided in and said, hey, listen, I had this idea to do this workout called Rezist. I want to make, this is like when, you know, they were still coming out with DVDs. Now they're kind of dead.
Yeah.
But I asked him some financial advice. How much money do you think I need? So he told me I needed 3 times more than I should put in. I said, how much is it going to do a video? I said, I don't know, 70, 80,000. He goes, well, you need $300,000 to start to create this workout that you want. And by the way, I hate the name Rezist. So I said, well, I like the name Rezist, and I have about $4,000 in the bank.
Well, let me forgive me for, I told you I wouldn't interrupt, but I have to ask, where did he come up with the 300? It was, you know,
triple your cost. Like you should, like triple whatever it would cost for you to do the video. That was his thinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, again, like, you know, it was kind of just like the Mr. Connecticut thing. If I was told like I couldn't do it, I just kind of like wanted to do it. So that actually, he motivated me a lot to say, you know, I'm going to do this on my own. And I mean, I literally, for people who know me with the Rezist workout, I borrowed, I scratched, I work other jobs, and I pulled money together. I put producers and marketing people on payment plans and just made it happen. Yeah.
And plus, you know, because I'm in that space, the marketing and the internet, it's not, everything is hard. Everything is hard no matter what you do. I don't care. You know, Les Brown says, if you do it as easy, your life would be hard. So, you know, find hard stuff that maybe your life becomes easy.
Right.
But yeah, I've been through a litany of internet, you know, gurus. And listen, ultimately, it's good to learn on your own and maybe have a couple of good people, because you're going to burn through. So you burn through some money, time. And how long has Rezist existed now?
Since 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're going like into your 7th, 8th year now.
Yeah.
And you've grown how? And then tell us what it's all about.
Well, I mean, we've grown just because of like the network of people we have. I mean, our biggest partner is Ohio in the Midwest. We have a girl down there, Teresa Carson, and she just, you know, she called me up one day and she said, hey, I seen the workout. I really, really like it. Do you mind if I do it down here? And I was like, you know, I wasn't looking for money from everyone. I just kind of wanted to, like, you know, I've never in this to be a millionaire, Mike. So like, I want it to be out there, and I want people to have fun. I want people to get in shape. You know, we know in this business that we're not going to be, you know, multi-millionaires. So I said, yeah, sure, use it. As long as you use the name, just connect me with your people, show it on social media. And the people in Ohio, Teresa and her crew, like Pammy down there too, they just took and ran with it. And basically that, now the studio is called Rezist. It's actually Rezist Studio.
But it's not like a franchise then. Like you didn't license it to them, or?
Nope. It was just me and her working on getting the name out and getting the workout out.
Wow. And you're also in Rhode Island, in
Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. Yeah.
You mentioned something. I ask you, you know, because we're all about aging without getting old, longevity. I mean, no matter who you are, you want to live well as long as you can. But I liked it. I said, what is the goal for your people? And you said you want to keep people moving. Because what happens when, you know what Jack LaLanne said? He said the reason a guy your or my age, I'm 56 or 55, can no longer do 50 push-ups like he could when he was 25 is because somewhere along the line he stopped and everything broke down.
Yeah.
So really, you're keeping people dynamic no matter what the age. But there's obviously challenges. So what's all that like? I
mean, the challenges. I mean, for anyone who knows, like resistance exercises. I mean, we're trying to protect our skeleton. We're trying to keep our muscles and our bones strong. So I think when we get older into our 50s and our 60s, we get very, very cardio minded, and we think about our weight, we think about our waistline, we think about those kind of things instead of thinking about our health. Like no one's thinking about like building muscle. And like I tell everyone, I said, someone came up to me today and said, like, I don't want to build muscle. I kind of want to lose weight. And I said, no, you want to build muscle. You want to build muscle. You don't just want to lose weight. You know, from ages 16 to 70, the goal in your mind should be building muscle. The cardio will come. You do a workout, you're going to burn 400 or 500 calories regardless.
So you still get that from people. I don't want to get too big, or I don't want to gain muscle, right?
Yeah.
Right. that's a conundrum. Do you get that more from women than men? I don't mean to be selective there, but
I don't. I think it turned a lot for women in the past like 5-10 years. Now, now I see them more like being very muscle orientated and knowing how healthy it is. And I think guys have always been like that. The reason why Rezist is good because the women were more, I think, cardio minded through the last maybe like 20, 30 years, and the guys were more muscle minded. And I think somehow they just met in the middle. And now we both sexes know that both are needed, and our idea is having both needed at the same time in the same class.
Well, that's a good thing because you integrate both in the same workout. Felix, hello, Michael and Gino. I think I remember Gino from a Terrytown show. Promoter was Felix Corona.
Yes.
Yeah, you were out there, right, Gino? I used to judge those.
Won the NBI.
Yeah, NBI. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old theater, the old,
Felix,
that was a cool place. And we've got a good friend of yours, Tanya Germanos.
Yeah.
Gino, you fought for your dream, and we, the Rezist fan, won that perfect workout. Thank you.
Yeah, she's one of our avid resistors in Rhode Island. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good. Listen, people, thanks. You help them with their health. There's nothing better. Yeah, Felix, that's correct. He was out Terrytown. My last show, Felix, you beat me in that show when I came back when I was 40 after another. I get all that. I get you, him. Yeah. I'm just, when you're at the bottom, you can only go up to the top. So now with your position with Boston, you're with the Boston YMCA.
Right. Yeah.
You moved to Boston, New York City. Now, do you incorporate Rezist in those workouts, or that's a whole total different thing to do?
We have now Rezist in the Boston YMCA branches. Yeah, and it's pretty popular here now, and it's just growing. And I'm in charge of all the virtual workouts here.
Well, that's cool. Are you finding the tech challenging, or is it not so bad? Because
I'm getting better.
Oh, you are? I have problems every day.
It's tough. Yeah, to see.
So you stay in great shape, obviously, all the time. How is it different for you now? Let's see here. We got another person. Jeff Igor Malamud, say hi to Gino from Jeff. Phoenix Gym. Oh my God, that was Ellen Ippolito.
That was where I competed for Mr. Connecticut in '88 and '89. Yeah.
That when you were at Phoenix Gym.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Wow. Jesus. Yeah. Well, we're talking about the '80s now, so.
I know.
It's like somebody says, "Hey, are you from the '90s?" No, more like the '70s and '80s.
No, that place is a mall now.
No, it is. That's true. It is. Yeah. One of the old hardcore gyms. So going back to, how do your workouts differ? Your workouts, obviously, you're probably not obviously, but you're probably not in there 2 hours a day anymore. What is your food like? Your nutrition?
I basically eat 5 meals a day, and I kind of like have an outline that I always kind of go by. I don't go by food groups. To be honest, like with everybody out there, I very rarely, even when I competed, like counted my macros, counted my calories, that kind of thing. I've kind of always kind of eyed it and experimented with my body. But I have a breakdown where right now I eat 5 meals a day. I eat protein complex carbs, protein fruit, protein complex carbs, protein fruit, protein vegetable. That's it. That's my outline.
And that works for you.
That works great for me. Yeah. And it works for a lot of people. A lot of times I wouldn't say prescribed it, but I've recommended it to people. And it works really well, just having 2 high carb meals, morning and lunch, and no carbs at dinner, just having vegetables and some type of protein source with protein and fruit in the middle. So it's basically just not eating any carbs after 4.
Are you dealing with any injuries, or have you had any?
I've had massive injuries. Yeah. Well, both my knees have been operated on 4 times. And my worst one now is that I had major back surgery. You would appreciate it. Yeah. So I had major back surgery where I had one of my discs not herniate. One of my discs actually snapped in half and floated up my spine. So they went to my spine and drill it and then pull that piece out. So
what was your age when that happened?
This was 3 years ago.
Wow. Because frankly, this is not an absolute, but pretty much the older you get, let's say you're over 45 or so, discs tend to dry out and you could still damage your spine, but they certainly don't herniate. So you must have really did something to make that happen. Yeah. How'd that resolve? Are you solid now? You can pretty much do everything?
Yeah, no, I actually, like I said, we say we work around things in our life. And even like, when I used to go down to Ohio and teach, and when I teach my class here, like I can't feel my front of my leg from my knee to my ankle. So I kind of have like a limp once in a while, but it's kind of weird when I teach class, I kind of just hit a switch and teach class. But if you saw me after class, I'm kind of like crawling.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that kind of like when you fall asleep on your arm and you can't feel it? Does it feel like that?
Yeah. Basically, if someone was giving me a body massage and they had their hand on my shin, I wouldn't feel their hand.
You wouldn't know. Yeah, I actually have that too from a back surgery. And when I walk, I have to swing my leg a little bit so I can see it in my peripheral vision. So you can't feel it. You lose that proprioception. So people who come and join Rezist, you have a wide range of ages, and if they are dealing with, let's say they had a hip replacement or they got back issues or they're just old and busted up, how do you work with them? Are there restrictions or different types of programs?
Yeah, well, the thing about Rezist as a workout, like when we invented Rezist, we wanted to give like a good, solid, modifiable workout that they could adjust and they could like do different moves and plug different things in. We didn't want to make it like, okay, here's a program followed for 3 months. We said, we just want to give you like a great kick-ass workout, and we could change it if we want, and it's very modifiable. So you could take it to very, very ballistic movements to very, very static movements. So just about like I told you before when we were talking, I mean, we have everyone from like killer athletes who take the class and right up into like a 70-year-old person who had a hip replacement.
Wow.
We had that person in our class yesterday. 70 hip replacement. Yeah.
Replacement.
Hip replacement. Yeah.
I got a friend who just had a double soccer player, and he's in good shape. Injuries not just restricted to people who are out of shape. In fact, sometimes the better shape you're in, the more proclivity you have for getting injured because there's not as much fat protecting you and whatnot. Yeah. Anything you want to add? So what do you suggest to people in general? They're just starting. If they're just starting out, can Rezist be something they may want to check out, or should they start more slowly with something else?
Yeah, no, Rezist. Believe it or not, my sister, who was probably kill me for saying this, but she was almost like 300 and was it 40 pounds?
Your sister?
Yeah, my sister, and she did this workout without any weights for like a year, every other day, and got down to 180.
Wow.
With doing the moves without holding weights in her hand. So it could be anything from someone like that without any weights in their hand, and our people progress by how heavy they go. So we want them to first learn the movement, second master the movement, and then third go up and weight in the movement. So that's the goal. It's the same. Rezist has the same goals. If you were going to go into the gym and say, I'm going to dumbbell chest press. Well, I did 20s today. I did 40s today. I want to do 50s in a month. Rezist is the same way. We said, hey, I'm going to do 5s and 8 pounds today weights. Maybe in a month I want to do 5s and 10 pounds. So that's the progression. It's the same progression as if you were progressing in the gym.
How long is an average session, and how many times a week do you suggest it for the average person?
Now, classes are only a half hour, and you can do it every other day.
Okay, and people can go to, let's see, I put it in the chat box here. Visit canyourezist.com, and you can download programs, correct?
Yep.
Or find a Rezist center. There's the one in Ohio is actually called the Rezist. It's a Rezist gym now, right?
Yep, Rezist Studio in Massillon, Ohio.
Wow. Is that near Columbus?
It's near the Football Hall of Fame, near Canton.
Oh, no kidding. Okay, yeah, I've actually been there. Gino, I want to thank you, man. Anything you want to add?
No. It's a pleasure you have me, Mike. I appreciate it. It's good seeing you.
I didn't know you moved to Boston. It makes me want to get up there. Are you guys in lockdown up there, or pretty much able to get around?
Come out. We're starting to come out now. We're doing like outside exercise classes now. We're gonna probably open up after the 6th.
Well, listen, man, you've always been a good guy, a genuinely nice guy. It's in this industry, you don't always have a lot of that. You have people who, when you start training to build muscle, maybe you're compensating for something, but if you do it well over time, usually you end up doing it for the right reasons, and it's just something extra. Yeah. And I think you've mastered that. And Frank Zane said it. He said, if you're above, let's say, the age of 45 or 50, and your goal in training is still to get the 500-pound bench or to pick up the girl or get the 18-inch arm, and that's all there is, you kind of maybe miss the boat. And that's not you to say at all. But you're genuinely a good guy, and I'm happy you're out there because you're doing good stuff for people. And you know your stuff. You're not spreading misinformation, and you're strengthening your spheres of influence. So I thank you. We thank you for that. And thanks for coming on, man, because I know you're busy. And most people don't know what the hell I'm doing here half the time. So they got to go look at my videos and make sure they're okay. And
just another side that just to mention, I do have a poetry blog, not to show.
Yeah. Oh, great writer, by the way, Gino is. And
So,
let me how do they find that?
just Google Poetic Fitness by Gino.
So what got you into that, man? How'd you start doing that?
I've kind of always done it. No one's really known about it, but I've always kind of like, you know, the same way you kind of want to inspire people like on the workout floor. I kind of wanted to do it the same way with my writing, but just have type of like a fitness twist to it. So yeah, so I actually like after I became like a physique pro, I kind of retired that and like dove into my writing more. So
you're gonna put a book together, or?
Yeah,
you got to amass a certain amount.
Your book.
What's that?
Not like yours.
Well, just understand, unless you're Oprah, it's not a, well, you know, I've actually made some money, but all the profits goes to animal shelter here, No Kill Shelter. Great shelter in North Haven. They adopt out almost 97% of the animals every year, no kill. So they're another place that does truly good work. So I'm all about supporting that. And, you know, it's like Martin Luther King said, there's nothing wrong with making money because, you know, you need it, you know, especially to live where you live, where I live, it's very expensive. So as long as you're putting quality forward, and I'm not going to say I'm proud of you. I don't like people who say that because then I'm like your father or something. But I'm happy you're doing so well, because it's very hard to do something different and be an iconoclast. And you know, you're going to suffer the barbs and the mudslinging, and you just got to put it aside and focus. So you built something unique and special, and that's rare. And congratulations. I thank you. Thank you for your time, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks.
And yeah, listen, I'll put this on your wall. I'll put it'll be on YouTube and all that stuff. And thanks everybody. You can still pop your questions up here. I'm sure Gino will answer them. He's got to get going. I got to take the dogs out. Everybody have a good day. Hey, Gino, I'll shoot you a message, okay?
All right, my friends. Bye.
Thanks, man. Have a good day.